Okay, we're going live now. Oh, sorry.
Are you not telling me when we're going live?
No, I told him not to tell you, but he says he could.
We are live.
Are we alive? Oh my goodness. Hello guys and welcome to tonight's segment of Let's Talk About Ice on the couch on the Gold Coast. If you're there, say hello, send us some love. And I will introduce our very special guest in a moment. She's just flown all the way from Cairns to come on the couch to share her heart with you. Because by sharing, we actually help people understand ice addiction, and we help families out there who may be trying to help a loved one through it. And also, we will be speaking. We will be speaking to people who may be using or are in addiction as well. So we're hoping to touch the lives out there of those that needing to hear this message tonight. Before we actually move on, guys, I'm going to ask you from the bottom of my heart to share this post and put it on your Facebook page, because you don't know whose life you're going to be able to touch by sharing this particular story. You know, ICE doesn't discriminate. It can affect anybody. It affected me as a 40-year-old. It affects, you know, young, old, and many walks of life. And you don't know. Sometimes people are suffering in silence. So please share this, because you don't know who you're going to help out there through the sharing of this story and this show. So before we actually get into the introduction, I want to show you these awesome groovy cups. Hey guys, look, this is our new brand Neo, and No to Ice, and it's got Neo on the back here. You can see that. And we're drinking water from our new coffee cups, and they have arrived. So if you're thinking about, what am I going to get this person for Christmas or my staff for Christmas, help a cause at the same time as purchasing a gift. So I'm going to give you a few ideas before we get started on today's show. You have your Neo cup, they're $15. You can purchase that online, and I'll give you the web address right now. That's www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. Now, gotta have a drink.
Fill them with lollies.
You can fill them with lollies. Great idea, Leanne.
That's
teachers. Awesome. Teachers, yeah. A friend, you know, pastors at church, or, you know, your colleagues at the club.
Bless your enemies.
Bless your enemies. There you go. So, you know, really worthwhile, guys, because you're helping a cause. All the contribution towards this, all the profits go back to helping us educate more youth on the dangers of ice, and also help people that are in addiction create a pathway into recovery. So that is a way that you can help, and you can, you know, kill two birds with one stone, I guess. But I'm going to give you some other ideas. So we have our Neo caps. They should be in on the 18th of December, around there. So before Christmas, you can actually get it delivered. So you've got this Neo cap, which is the one with the NEO on the rim, and it's really trendy. And on the back, now I'm going to get hat here. On the back, you have the not even one symbol here, guys. And then this one. You've got the flat cap, which all the young ones love, but look, there's a surprise under there. Ha ha! So, and that also has NEO at the back. So they will be in on the 18th of December. Purchase them now so you get them in time for Christmas, because as soon as they arrive, we'll be posting them out. So we're doing pre-orders right now for the caps, but the mugs are here, and we can send them out to you straight away. So don't forget your Christmas tree. I don't know if you can see that, but your Christmas tree should look like this. You know, going to help a cause, right? So you got your beanies here in Melbourne. I hear it's been freezing, and here's a way that you can keep warm and help us educate more kids on the dangers of ice. So this is a really cool beanie. It's quite thick actually. And then obviously CD for those that love music. All the profits from this, all proceeds from this, go back to help educate our community on the dangers of ice. And our Neo tops, we're going to have a new KB Supplies, who are our preferred suppliers for all our products. They are actually looking after our t-shirts now, and the quality of those t-shirts are amazing. So our Neo tops are like this. That's our new brand, and they will be going into certain stores shortly, but for now you can only order it online on our webpage. So that's www.australianantiicecampaign.org.au. and look how cool this could look, you know, for your youngster. You know, they can put on this, and they can put on a cap, and they're set, you know, for the holidays. Pretty cool, eh? And you're helping a good cause. You know, your money's going into doing something good for your community. So there are some ideas for Christmas. So I've got a couple of shout outs to do. We attended the Volunteering Australia who hosted a morning tea for volunteers, and they invited Australian Anti-Ice Campaign there because they work closely with us, with the volunteers that come in and help with administration, HR, events. By the way, if you have time to, volunteer half a day, we are asking for volunteers to help with our sausage sizzles. We will be having one on the 16th of this month at Officeworks, I believe. So if you are skilled in cooking up a sausage or putting it in a bread, saying hello to somebody, or handing out information about the dangers of ice in your community, please give us a holler because we need all the help we can get. And if that's you, send us an email or private message us, and we'll be in touch on how you can contribute. Even if it is half a day, 4 hours on once a month or once a fortnight. Let us know and we'll be able to put you on the roster, and it helps it helps a lot. So we can't all do everything, but we can all contribute a little bit, and that's what a community should be doing to help others out there that are in need. So thank you very much to Volunteering Australia for having that morning tea and supporting Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. We love working with you, and you guys are amazing in what you do. Big shout! Oh yes, of course. Our new and the first volunteering magazine of the Gold Coast, the community magazine, has been launched by Volunteering Australia, and we are in there. We've been sponsored a double page spread there, and you'll be able to read up a little bit about the work that we do. And we're just really grateful to have this opportunity to be to be in the magazine and be part of the community here on the Gold Coast and Queensland, but also in Victoria, Adelaide, Cairns, and in Sydney as well very soon. So yeah, that's awesome. Awesome reads. You can pick them up through your local community areas around the Gold Coast. Oh, this has got to sit right here. And so yeah, again, thank you to KB Supplies for helping us with all this product launch and the Neo brand. And we are doing some special things with KB Supplies. Thank you to Sean and to Brett out there. We've been working closely with them to put together a race day. So I don't want to deliver too much about that yet, but the specifics, I think it's on the 9th of March, yes, if I can remember, yep. And so we've got some a really big corporate event happening, but we will be doing a live cross from there. So if you can't attend, we'll be showing you all the fun we're having. But you can attend or you can volunteer and help on the actual day. So it's going to be a fundraising event for Australian Anti-Ice Campaign. But it's about awareness, it's about education, it's about giving people in the community resources. So if you are that person and you think you want to help and you want to get involved, connect with us, get in touch. Yeah, so it's going to be a great day, and we can't wait because we're going to have some celebrities attend, and there's going to be some music, and there's going to be in each race a horse dedicated to AAIC, and so it's going to be a great day of fundraising. But without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Casey. Thank you for being on the show, Casey.
Hi.
We met a little while ago, Casey, in Cairns, where we had a forum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was really touched by, I actually ran into your mum. So I was really touched at, your mum commented on our t-shirts and said, thanks guys for being in our community and helping out. I know firsthand from this experience, and thank God my daughter's out of that. And she said, but I don't want any kids to go through that. So I was, oh wow, I'd love to speak to your daughter, and here we are on the Gold Coast. You've flown down from Cairns to come and have a chat on the couch, but for another reason too. So do you want to share?
In 2 days I'll be 500 days clean.
So
yeah,
send the love, guys.
I'm actually down here holidaying with my 2 boys that I got back full time in May, after being away from them not being in custody of them for 9 months. So.
Wow. Well, see,
So it's pretty exciting.
recovery is possible, guys.
Yeah,
and, you know,
definitely.
I know personally I've been working with a few girls that are losing their kids and have lost their kids. You know, and sometimes, and I also know people that have lost their kids and, you know, have not embarked on recovery and have not been able to have that relationship back with their children. And, you know, you're getting to celebrate right now, you know, that unity and being that length of time clean. You said something to me in there in the kitchen about, you know, your kids saying, oh, when you become 18 months clean, and they were really happy to come on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was I think what worried me the most was what my actions have actually done to them in their childhood and what kind of kids they were going to end up being or growing up to be. And I think this holiday with my family and that is more about making memories and the positivity that my kids aren't going to go through this.
Yeah.
And if I had kept on going the way I was, they're smart little cookies. They would be onto what's going on already, you know. I'm so glad they're not going to be around, you know, domestic violence, aggression. I'm already worried about what them couple of years that they were in that kind of environment has done to them. But I'm glad that I can be the strong mother because it's everywhere. And to hold their hand and, you know, be there. And I would never wish addiction upon anyone.
No, especially us addiction. And that's why we do what we do, guys. You know, it's a hell of a place. And, you know, those that manage to escape never want to visit that again, and you don't wish it upon your worst enemy. And as Casey can explain, you know, it affected her kids, it affected the people that she loved, and she's very, very blessed to be out of that space and have a new lease of life.
I have a lot of support. I actually, to be honest, I don't think I lost anyone when I embarked on recovery. Within 2 weeks of losing my kids, I was at rehab and doing all the right things. You know, I was warned and, you know, child safety in and out, and I was on the verge of going to jail as well. And because I'd done recovery and about to graduate from rehab, they gave me a good pat on the back and said, I don't want to see you ever again. It's the support I've got. I come from a small town, and you know, the support I've got from my family, from my counsellors, from my best friends, you know, I thought I would have lost them all, and I haven't. You know, they were there when I wanted to come back. I wanted to be the real Casey again. I missed that. And they missed that too. So it's really good. I don't think I could have done it without the support, so it's really important to go out there and find it.
Absolutely, and we do provide that, guys. You know, if we're speaking to you and you are in addiction and you're thinking, you know, I've had enough, I want out, I want myself back, I want my life back, we are here to help you through that. You know, we've been through it, and we know how hard it is and how painful it can be, but you know what, you're worth it, and it's worth it. You know, it's hard initially, but it is worth it in the long run. So if we're speaking to you, please reach out. You know, not everybody has had the opportunity to have your family there and really have all that support, but what we do teach families, Casey, is that you know, love your loved one. You have to have really good boundaries, guys, and you can't have them in your world while they're using, but when they're ready to change, you know, embrace them to help them to change. You know, go to the appointments, help them make the phone calls, stand with them to go to Centrelink and to go to the doctors and to do all the things that they need to do to get themselves in a place where they can undergo recovery. Because without that support, the brain at that time is in such a mess that you can't make logic, rational decisions for yourself, and it's it's so messy, and the depression that comes alongside of that, and anxiety and psychosis is so severe that you can't think for yourself. So they need you, and that is an important part of recovery.
Oh, definitely. Even for my parents themselves, my brother, my auntie that was there for me when I was in rehab, you know, taking me out, like busted me out of there, and we went garage sailing, and just, you know, they went through years and years. I think I was using for 6 years, of pulling their hair out, wits end, you know, from house. I think I've been through like 5 cars or something, 3 different properties, and the support they needed, you know. I didn't realize how much of a ripple effect that my choices made, and how it really affected everyone. It wasn't until I went to the forum with you guys, and I seen someone's mum there, and I went, oh my God, that's so sad. And then it hit me, oh my God, that was my mum last time. So you know, that I was only thinking about myself, you know, boo-hoo, I'm in rehab, boo-hoo, this. It's not until later on it all becomes so much clearer that how much you affect everyone. So yeah,
we are all a part of this thing called life, and we don't realize how much you know, our choices actually affect so many people, and if we make positive choices, we can affect people in a positive way, but the negative choices, and watching your child, you know, your mum would have been watching her child self-destruct, and you know, having some sort of understanding and reaching out for help like she did, you know, she did the right things, you know, to be able to support you and help you. But that's what, guys, that's what you really need to do. If you have a loved one that's, you know, going through addiction, and you really need to get the support, the family support that you need, so that you can get the tools, the understanding, the boundaries, so that you can have the resources as well to be able to help your loved one. We don't charge for the family support, guys. You know, we urge you to ring out, you know, ring the number and connect with somebody, send us a message. Our family support line number is 0481 844 555. And oh my goodness, we're going to have a new phone number soon, so shh, I won't deliver that. I couldn't help it. It's going to be so cool. Wait till you hear it. It's going to be a one national number, and everybody's going to be able to call. And if you think you know what it is, put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to guess it. So, Casey, I want to go back. I want to go back to, you know, I mean, I just want to see.
Oh, you know, yeah.
Hey, guys, background noise, like they're noisy.
Directors.
I can only concentrate on one thing at a time. I get sidetracked. Looking at you now and knowing, you know, speaking to you, you're a beautiful young lady with, you know, a couple of kids and a loving family. It's hard for people out there to understand, you know, how does this young lady come out of 6 years of addiction? What happened? Like, what happened in front of you for you to make the choices that you did at that time?
I think that, you know, I did well in school. I was the vice president of the student council, you know. My family is well known in the town I come from, and I got engaged, and I had a house and had a wedding dress in the cupboard, and it didn't work out. So I kind of went on into the rest of my life going, oh, I'm going to do everything once, experience everything once, and became this party girl. And it eventually led, I don't think I did hard drugs till I was 23 years old. And that was the first time, and I think it's pretty much when I lost a baby, and I didn't deal with that very well. So it kind of led on from there, and I had this rebellion in me. I just don't know where it actually came from. I'll do what I want when I want. Nothing's going to touch me, and at that time I'd never been in trouble with the police ever, and 6 years later it snowballs into almost going to jail, taking the blame for others, I've been 9 months pregnant, arrested, putting up my hand, having my baby 2 days later, taking the blame when no one else would. Putting myself out there and knowing what a vicious circle it is, and ended up paying the costs for it. So, yeah.
So were you partying and somebody just like handed you a pipe or
Actually,
a needle or what?
so it was my two bestest friends in the whole entire world. And I knew they were doing it, and I was actually always afraid of doing drugs. I didn't like not being in control of my body.
Yeah.
And I was drinking a lot at the time, and we always used to party together, and they're still my best friends till this day. They're both clean and have been for years.
Awesome.
But it stuck with me. And I couldn't shake it. It was to the point I was saying to these girls, they were so worried, Casey, come and hang out with us, and I'm saying, you got to come and physically take me, because I could not think about anything else.
Yep.
It was how I was going to get it, or who I was going to go sell it to, or what was my plans for the night, and it all revolved around drugs.
Yep.
And they got extremely worried. So they were able to leave the scene, or whatever you like to call it, and move on with their lives, and I just got stuck in this vicious circle that kept on going round and round and round.
Yep. So that went on for 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow. That's devastating. And your health deteriorated.
Yeah. So I was actually homeless when I fell pregnant with my first son. And I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was 9 weeks pregnant, and I instantly stopped. So I had massive withdrawals, I guess, from sleeping and, no motivation, that, because I was awake, I'd say like 9 over a week at a time, definitely. And we went and I stayed with the boyfriend's family, and stayed with them. So it wasn't, so then after that, in between my two children, I've been on and off, and especially when my boyfriend went to jail, I seemed to run amok even more.
Yep.
And it wasn't until I was pregnant with my second child that I was having heart palpitations when I was pregnant, and I had an ECG on my heart, and when I get my anxiety, I had anxiety as a child, but my anxiety now is through the roof from long-term drug use, that my heart skips a beat, and it's from the drugs. So yeah, it takes me 24 hours to calm down when I'm really upset about something.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would if I was on drugs. My heart's going a million miles an hour.
Yeah, and it does, and that's what happens when you're on ice. It actually speeds up your heart rate, and it heats up your body internally. And I myself have long-term repercussions. I have 2 heart conditions, and I totally understand that. But I used to get it while I was using.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go away, and it damages your heart. When we go into schools and we talk to the kids about the damages that ice does and what's in it, and what it actually does physically inside, we can speak from first-hand experience, because you wear the repercussions, the kidney damage, the liver damage, the memory problems, and
and
thinking.
I think it was at a forum you talked about the brain pathways, channeling new ways. I had to learn to do that into rehab, around my thought processes, paranoia. That was so hard. Actually, last week went through a little paranoia thing and went, oh my God, what is wrong with me? That's so not real.
Yeah, but you can recognize it now, but when you're in addiction, you can't, and it takes a long time for you to realize you still get it. You still get, bouts of paranoia or depression, and for a long time, many years, and sometimes it doesn't go away. Some people after ice addiction have to be on medication to produce the chemicals that which is dopamine, that keep you balanced and not in depression. Yeah, because the brain stops producing that, and usually it takes 12 to 18 months for that to start to repair or to come back. You know, your frontal lobe start operating again on its own properly, and for the chemical balance to stabilize. But a lot of people find that, you know, they have to be on antidepressants and for a long time, and you still have your dips, you still have, you know, your cravings, you still have you know, paranoia, anxiety, and this physical symptoms. You know,
people's places and things are the worst for cravings or thinking about it, or just memories. And I think about it when I actually look at how much I think about it, and I'm 500 days clean, and I'm like, oh my God, like it doesn't go away.
Yeah. Well, I was reading today, we have a certain young man joining us who's a bit of a celebrity. I'm not going to mention his name yet because he's going to come in on the show and he's going to be sharing his story. But he was saying how, you know, it's very real. You know, you get big bouts of thinking about it, and he said, you know, he kept dreaming about it.
Yeah,
and it's like he'd wake up in a sweat, going, I didn't use, and you know, he hated it so much that, you know, it was in there, it was in your brain.
Your mind is your worst enemy. It plays games with you that you want it and you dream about it, and it's your own worst nightmare.
It isn't the worst nightmare. I mean, I dreamt about it probably about a year ago. I've been 6 years clean. And I dreamt that a place got raided, and, you know, there's all this meth, you know, ice around, and I'm trying to hide it. And then I'm like, no, they're going to look in the drawers, so I'm stashing it in my pockets. And I'm like, I wake up and I'm thinking, what is happening? I hate this stuff. Why am I dreaming about it, you know? So it's really, it follows you, it haunts you. But it's a matter of capturing that thought. And this is why it's amazing when the presenters come in and work with us, because every day we're remembering where that drug took us, and every time that you think about that drug in any other way than, you know, I hate you, the damage that you're doing to me, when it comes into your mind, you're able to capture it and transfer it to, I remember what you did to me. I remember where you took me. I remember what you destroyed in my life and what you tried to steal from me. And that's what keeps you clean. Because if you're going to remember the first hit, everybody's going to relapse and fall and go back to that. You
if
know?
I had known where I would be, I would never had touched it. I never knew. If I had known where I'd end up, no way, because I've been through, you know, absolute lows. Like when your children get taken from you, that is heartbreaking. And to be able to get up and have the strength to go, yeah, I'm going to fix this. I was surprised I did, and I'm surprised I stuck it out. I mean, it must have been something I truly wanted. I really was over the scene.
That's awesome. And you had amazing support, and that makes a big difference as well. And,
definitely.
You know, just chatting to you before about your whole family's here on holidays in support for you.
They're probably watching right now. Hey, Mom.
Of your recovery. Isn't that awesome? Like, there you go. And my brother and my mum, and you know, everybody's here, and I'm like, look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's been times I think, I'm not sure how long I didn't talk to my mum for, but they did report me missing persons at one stage.
I know.
So I have absolutely put my family through the ringer. Anyone that's known to me, my friends, the father of my kids, even though he was in tow with me, I put him through the ringer too. No one had any control over me. So
look at you now, and this is what I'm saying. You know, your family comes back. You can restore. You can create the life that you love and that you deserve. You know, and you deserve an amazing life. You know, you're a beautiful person, and you got a lovely family. You know, I met your mum. I'll never forget your mum. She was just so beautiful. Thank you so much for, you know, helping educate our kids. No one deserves to be in that. You know, she was just so beautiful. She really loves you. You know, and most parents, you know, I'd say they do love their kids. You know, they want to see they don't want to see them self-destruct, but they want to help them get out of that cycle of addiction. And the mistakes often the mistake often that families make that we see the most is that because you do love your child, you don't want to see them homeless, you don't want to see them hungry, you don't want to see them getting evicted or not making their car repayments, and they step in to help as a parent would, but by doing that you're actually enabling your child to continue using, because until they step out of that place and step into recovery, they're going to be using their own money, and whether it's Centrelink or work, or they're going to be using that to shoot up, or or to smoke, so and to use. And so you're not actually helping them. They need to come to the end of themselves and go, I've had enough. But then you go, great, I'm here to help you, I'm here to step into recovery with you and alongside you, but I'm not going to step into your world and allow those boundaries to be crossed.
Boundaries are the worst. Even I know myself, coming out of rehab, out of the rehab safety bubble, what boundaries I was going to put in. I was going back into a town where everyone knew me.
What was that, Casey?
It was actually, I'm really surprised, and if any of you are watching, thank you. They've left me alone.
Wow.
They knew what I was doing this for. I've had maybe a handful, and when I tell them, no, I've got too much to lose, they're like, wow, you want to know how awesome that is to hear from you? So I was actually really worried about going back into a town, and everyone kind of sucking me back in, because that's how I got sucked back in every time. The sob stories and this and that, and they've actually left me alone. Wow. So I have really had a bit of a cruisy sailing through that part.
Yeah, but my hat goes off to you, Casey, because it takes a certain strength within you as well, knowing that, it's there, it's in your town. I had to move to another state. A lot of people that I know have had to change their whole, circle. So there's a certain strength in you. There's something in you that has motivated you to stick to it. What is that?
I think it's, I can say I do miss some of the people I used to hang around, I do miss them, and, I do hear things, but I just don't get involved anymore. I don't have the time for it anymore. My life is less dramatic.
Thank God for that.
I know, less stressful. I don't struggle anymore. I'm enjoying things in life. I'm going on family holidays. I'm going to concerts. I never thought this would happen again. I've got nice things. Actually, I've got a new pair of sunglasses, and I said to Mum, I said to Mum on the way down, I'm like, oh my God, they would have been stolen the first day and held for ransom.
It's good that you can remember
The shoes I was wearing, I'm like, yep, they would have been stolen by now, and my sunglasses would have been held for ransom. And I've had my phone for over a year now.
Wow.
The same phone. So
you do
so thumbs up.
Those things. Absolutely. Because it is a horror story, isn't it?
And to be able to have my own house, if I used to have people coming in and out, and people just crashing, and I can't even stand having one person in my house for a visit, because I don't have anyone over anymore. It's I'm actually enjoying getting a high from my kids. They bring me down to earth.
That's awesome.
They really do. They ground me.
That's awesome. How old are your kids?
4 and 2.
That's
and they're rat bags.
Well, as
Complete
they should
rat
be.
bags. Yeah, they're
Terrible twos.
Yeah, they're good kids, but they are really good kids. But yeah, they're pretty cute.
I bet they're stoked to have their mum back.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So
do they understand the older ones?
So when I went away, my mum and dad told them I was at the doctor, so I was getting better to be a happy mum.
Yeah.
So he would have been 3 then.
Yeah.
Told everyone, my mum's at the doctor's.
Isn't that beautiful?
They came down and visited me. I'd talk to them on the phone all the time. I'd FaceTime them. Mum would send photos. So I was in rehab for 4.5 months.
Yeah.
and I graduated and went back to my parents' house to live with them, actually in their motorhome. And then I got my own place to get my kids back full time. So my oldest son, Jet, was only 14 months old when he was taken from me. So they know that I'm a happy mum now, and yeah, it's great to have them back.
Yeah, I bet.
They're full on.
I bet. So, recovery is possible, and you're laughing here and you're treasuring the moments that you have with them, and that's not possible while you're entrapped in addiction. You lose contact with your family, with your friends, with things that you care about. You lose contact with what's important in life, and you lose contact with yourself. And it's a horrific entrapment, and it's addiction, ice addiction specifically, is a whole lie, and it's a deception. You don't understand the minute you say yes to that pipe. Were you a smoker? Or?
I was a smoker.
Yeah.
I
so easily accessible, isn't it?
Yeah, I never used intravenously.
Yeah.
But that was a line I knew if I crossed, I wasn't coming back. And I hung around a lot of people that did that, and I would be the only smoker. But there's no difference in between them.
No. It affects you. It affects you in exactly the same way, guys. Whether you're smoking, cutting a pill, snorting it, shooting it up. Ice affects you exactly the same way. It just hits you quicker. So if you're gonna, shoot up, it's gonna hit your brain a lot faster. But there's no better way. Oh, because I'm smoking a pipe, I'm not a druggie. That's the thought process.
Yeah.
I'm not like an addict, like one of those.
Yep.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. If you're using abusing substance, and you very, very quickly you'll get addicted to ice. I don't know anybody that's tried it once and not gone back.
Yeah, I was hooked. Before I knew it, I was hooked, but I was craving the taste, everything, and I kind of was hanging around people that had unlimited, and I'd sell drugs for them, and what do you know, I was smoking flat out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, so people do take advantage of you, even if you think you're doing the right thing, helping them out,
Yeah.
So I never went without.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what happens.
And that's what happens. It snowballs, and you're done.
Especially with girls, the guys will give you a sample, here, have some of this, and you don't have to pay for it, and then before you know it, you're either trafficking, or you're selling yourself for it because you need it. It becomes like air, and that very, very quickly it takes over your brain. And you're working out of your midbrain, you're operating out of your midbrain, which is the animal brain, and so you are just acting on impulse and on the moment. The animal brain only cares about the next 5 minutes of pleasure, and it'll do whatever it needs to get it. So even if it means hurting people around them, people that they love, and stealing from loved ones, and lying and manipulating and breaking the law. So the end result of ice addiction, honestly, and the very small percentage of people like Casey come out the other side, but if you embark on that journey, the end result is three things you're going to get. You're either going to get in mental health institutes, you're going to end up in prison, or you're going to end up dead. You choose. If you walk down that path, that's where you're going to end up. That's the end of the road there. You've been blessed to be able to come out.
Yeah, definitely. I know that, and I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, you can tell by our conversations today with you regarding your family being here, and it's awesome to see the support. So, families out there, keep supporting your loved ones. I know it's go through trials, and I know it's difficult. Get all the help that you can get, because we need help when we're going through stuff in life. I mean, we're human. And that's, people are made to connect and to help each other through life, life in itself. And we talk about this in classrooms, life, you might think you have problems, and that's why you engage in drugs. All drugs have negative consequences, by the way, some of them are worse consequences than others. But ice specifically is an entrapment, and it's very, very quick. Breaks down the neurological pathways in your brain, starts to eat away at your vascular system. and it affects your heart, your liver, your kidneys, and it's chemicals like acetone and Drano and countertop cleaners with ammonia in it. Really, like you don't know this when you pick up a pot.
Definitely not.
And it's usually like myself, somebody that you trust, and you go, oh, it's no big deal. It's just a bit of a puff. It's like it's a bit of a puff's never killed anyone. That's the thought process, behind it. So is that kind of what you thought?
Yeah, and I didn't think it would have snowballed as quick as what it did.
Yeah, that's right. And how quick did 6 years go?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no time in Ice World. You don't realise how long you're trapped there. Yeah. So do you have siblings?
I've got 2 younger brothers. One's got cerebral palsy and it's quite severe, and then I have a 23-year-old brother, so he hasn't been quite happy with some of the choices I've made.
Yeah.
Vice versa, he's had his fun, but he's very proud of me too.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. That's
he
awesome.
loves his nephews. They both love their nephews, and just they're all there to support me.
So when you were going through, through the harder times of your addiction, do you remember what your family was? How were they getting help? How were they?
I think they were a bit lost. They tried a bit of the not enabling, and once I had the kids, it was hard to not enable them. They tried a few techniques from what I can remember, but it really took me to hit rock bottom for me to realise I need to do this. So, and they stepped back when that happened. When my kids got taken off me, there was a bit of a controversy happened, and so it was kind of like, Mum, I've rung the rehab, I'm going to rehab, and she dropped off a couple of things I needed. She come and said goodbye, and the way she said goodbye to me that night, I never will forget. And it was quite sad. It made me realise what I did. And how much I put on them, to have my boys. When I was having my boys, my second child, I never thought my kids would be taken from me, and it does happen. And and when I was deciding whether I was having my second child or not, because of the situation I was in, domestic violence, constant using, my parents said, look, we can't take on 2 kids, and they did. I'm really grateful. So just the effect on what it's had on them, even them helping me out now, being a single mother, they'd do anything for us. They love us to the moon and back, but they've done their yards. They should be having their time of their life. So
And they will.
Yeah.
And they will. And,
they just got back from Hawaii this year, so they've had their time. That's it.
That's what parents do. I mean, you've got kids, and if your kids are going through a hard time, it's their consistent love that has pulled you out of that place. And love conquers all, guys. And you've just got to, let your loved one know, I love you. Don't love what you're doing. I'm not going to stand by and watch the child of mine that I gave birth to and that I love self-destruct. And I'm here to help you when you're ready to change. I'm going to walk with you, I'm going to stick with you, but while you're using, I can't enable that. I can't help you do that. And I'm not going to take part in that, And that is kind of the conversation and the boundary that has to happen. It's tough. It's tough. And I don't think that people realise how difficult it is until you're actually in that position. And I can't even say that, right? But I've watched people around me helping their loved ones, and it's heartbreaking. You know, I can only speak from the addict's perspective.
It's hard to.
When you come out and you clean up and you look back and you think, oh my goodness, I've affected, all my family and the people that love me. I really hurt them. And you can't take that back, but you can be the best you that you can be. And
behaviour is the best amends, the best behaviour change is what
And be present in the moment to share with them. To share with them, the moments in life, because that's what you keep, that's what you treasure. So we've got a question out here.
It's from my
There's a
mom.
shout out to Townsville Recovery.
Yes, thank you to Townsville Recovery Services and my caseworker there, Lee. She's amazing.
Wow.
They were awesome there. It's a really good rehab. They've got some good ideas.
Yeah.
They've got a detox centre, a youth centre they've just opened up.
Oh, wow.
And then the actual live-in. So, look into it, guys, if you really need it, because they are amazing.
Is that the Salvation Army
So,
one?
yes.
Yeah, they do amazing work.
They are.
Yeah.
They honestly are.
We work closely with Munya and with Fairhaven here on the Gold Coast, and they were opening that up.
Yeah. Well, I was at the old one, and they opened the new one halfway through, so I was there, and then I got to move to the new centre, and I think I was first girl to graduate from there. So
awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And they do an amazing job with their recovery programs. So I'm so glad that you got to experience
that. Hi, Mum. My kids are probably watching too. Hi, Ben and Jet.
That's it. Hi, guys. She won't be far. She won't be too long.
I'll be home soon.
So we've got Georgia Randall says, you look so good, Casey. So proud of you.
Hi, Auntie.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. It's very encouraging, guys, because, to know that, you're here sharing your heart and sharing your story in hope to help others and to have your family, supporting you and being proud of you and being there for you. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
That must be a great feeling. So, guys, if you have any questions for Casey, now's the time to, to pop them out on the screen. We do take question time now. And
Kids are asleep.
Oh, the kids are asleep. And so if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. If you're a parent out there and you're watching, if you want to know anything, how she dealt with family or how anything at all, just pop it up on the screen, and Leanne will give her that message and we'll be able to answer that. So tell me, what's the best part of recovery?
I think seeing the old Casey, honestly. When I was in rehab, I could see a glimpse of me coming back. I turned into a person I didn't even know anymore. I was spiritually broken. So yeah, seeing the glimpses of me coming back, happy, bubbly. I was quite aggressive and in severe depression, just at wit's end, how I could, not actually go and fix the problem, but get around it somehow. And there was no other option. I had to fix the problem.
That's really an important thing that you said there. And there might be people watching here that are thinking, oh yeah, I'll do it myself. I just won't use. I'll be right. It doesn't happen like that.
No, it's like
actually
3 weeks, and I'm like, I didn't have anything for 3 weeks. I'll go and treat myself.
Yeah.
And boom, there we go for another week, and then you need more, and it goes on for a couple of months. So it's really to seek out the help you really do need to deal with the problems that are making you use, or
the underlying issues, and it's more than that. It's I think that you've got to walk through the hard times to actually it's a little bit hard to have to go into those places and work out those things and go through the detox and wait for your chemical balance to readjust and go through the tears and the heartache of discovering everything that where you've just come out of, but you got to walk through it to get free from it. You actually have to do the work, and there is no way around it.
Got to feel all them feelings to know truly what you need to not use anymore.
So how do you not use anymore? Like when the thought comes in, what do you do?
I actually don't act on it.
Yep.
When I think about drugs or people, places, things, seeing someone, or I went and scored from that house, or I remember being pulled over here, or whatever it may be, whatever memory gets triggered, I actually just don't act on it. That's all I do, just for that day.
Yep.
You know, and then I just go home and I cuddle my kids and movie night with my kids and spoil my kids rotten. So that's what they ground me when I need grounding. They bring me down to earth, so yeah.
And doing something that you love and that, you know, is important to you, to refocus, you know. I remember, you know, my buddy, Mark, who used to knock on my door and say, come on, we're going to go out and help, you know, Mrs. Jones down the road. And I'm like, no, I want to die today, mate. All I wanted was to pick up again. And, you know, he's like, no, not today, mate, tomorrow. Because today we're going to go and do this. But he refocused my attention. And by the time I went over there and helped this lady that had cancer and come back, I was in a different mood. And, you know, I'd forgotten about that.
Yep,
and,
definitely.
you know, you've overcome that small hump. And, you know, that the next day.
I remember going the Salvation Army rehab, going to church and going, oh my God, church at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning, why am I doing this? And like, holy, this is not okay. And, you know, it took a while to wear off of me. You know, I was going through court for my kids. I was going through district court. I was flying home while I was at rehab to do court and stuff like that. And, you know, when I really needed it, when I was really down going, oh my God, this is all too much, you know, the support of the church was there, you know, people were there to support me, you know, and they were, like, love on me. Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's fantastic that you share that, because we work closely, you know, with our system, our top-load system support looks like this, Casey. We've got a buddy, a support person, you know, that we can provide, because we've all been through that. So we walk alongside people that, you know, are wanting to come out of addiction and help them, because we know where they've been. So you've got a buddy, you've got group therapy, which some people choose to go to NA, AA, but, you know, myself, I went into a church, and I found that church loved me back to life, And the third part is an AOD counsellor, drug and alcohol counsellor. So that's your tripod system of support. When you come out of a rehab, it is so important to have that in place. Because if you don't have the tripod system of support, you know, it's incredibly difficult. So the likelihood of relapse is high. So what we find is, you know, going into a community of love where people don't judge you but are there for you and, you know, can walk with you through those dips. Because we all have dips, but you know, when you've been on ice, the dips are deeper. And you know, just to have that support of unconditional love and forgiveness, and you can start again. It's okay. We don't care who you've been. We don't care what you've done. We only care that you're here now, and that we're going to love you until you can love yourself. You know, and that is so important. So you know, in Adelaide, we've got you know. A group of churches on the Gold Coast, also Heritage of Faith, which is my home church. They support a lot of people, you know, in early stages of recovery with food, just being there, you know, just being there, sitting together and saying, hey, it's okay to cry, it's okay to be human, it's okay to hurt about that, but you know what, you're loved, and you know, you're worth this recovery, you're worth you know, having the life that you love. So we really encourage that.
You'll find most people from churches are recovered addicts.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're absolutely amazing people.
Yeah, and they've been through trials, and you know, you find that at the end of the road, when you haven't got any more hope and you haven't got nothing else, God's always there for you. You know, and I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for the church that helped love me back to life, because I didn't go to a rehab. I was too scared. No, I didn't have the finances to enter, and I just thought I was going to get locked up. So I did it. I'm lucky to be here because I almost committed suicide. So, you know, it's easier in a rehab. You get people alongside you that can give you the tools, you know, to help you through certain areas.
And don't be afraid to go. I was so afraid and thought I'd be locked up. It would be like jail. It's not. It's like a resort. You'll love it.
I love it. I've been up to Fairhaven, and it's like, oh man, you're on top of the hill. This is so beautiful. Like,
in the one in Townsville, they cook for you, and it's great.
It's beautiful.
So don't be afraid. Go and see them.
Yeah, and you know, they're people who understand that journey because they've actually been through it as well. So connect with your local rehab, and if you need resources, guys, connect with us because we can help you with that. And we can connect you with a buddy and a support people that can help you through the early stages of recovery. So, Casey, I'd like to thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for sharing.
That's
I know
right.
it's never easy, guys, to to share your story and to be in front of a camera and think, oh, what are people going to think? Should I expose this to the whole world? Well, it takes a lot of guts, but it takes more guts to come out of ice addiction the way that you have and to stand firm back in your hometown against this drug that's destroying so many lives. So my hat goes off to you, and an incredible amount of strength. And we are blessed to have Casey in our Cairns team. She'll be undergoing training to be one of our presenters up in Cairns, and we're really excited about that. I feel really blessed and honoured to have you on the team. So thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Right down the camera, Daryl, Casey, one word to describe ice.
Pure nightmare. That's 2 words, but pure nightmare.
Yeah, awesome. And can I teach you something? You ready?
Yeah.
Not. Even. Once. Not even once is our message, guys. Good night. We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
God bless.
Woohoo! That's so nerve-wracking. I
Well
don't
done.
even make sense.
Yes, you did.